Top accolade global news updates. I am Soibifa Jackridge. India's antitrust body is investigating domestic units of global delivery companies such as Germany's DHL, US-based United Parcel Service (UPS), and FedEx for alleged collusion on discounts and tariffs, documents seen. It's the latest such scrutiny for the logistics industry, some dating back to 2015 when France levied fines amounting to $735 million on 20 companies, including FedEx and DHL, for secretly colluding to increase prices. In recent weeks, the Competing Commission of India (CCI) has begun reviewing hundreds of thousands of emails as it investigates the fees companies charge for airport services, according to government documents and 3 sources. Its inquiry began in October 2022 after the Federation of Indian Publishers complained that DHL, FedEx, UPS, and Dubai Aramex, along with some domestic firms, were deciding charges together and controlling customer discounts. In a statement, FedEx categorically denied the accusations in the complaint, but it was cooperating with the CCI while adding that it was committed to legal compliance. DHL also said it was cooperating fully and always maintained legal compliance. UPS said it could not give details of an ongoing non-public investigation, but was cooperating with the watchdog. A finding of catalyzation could bring a fine of up to 3 times the profits. In each year, the fee was fixed by the companies, or 10% of annual revenue for each year of violation, whichever is greater. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman said on Thursday he felt members of the Muslim and Arab communities in the tech industry were uncomfortable speaking about their recent experiences, in an apparent reference to the impact of the ongoing war in Gaza. Muslim and Arab, especially Palestinian colleagues in the tech community I have spoken with, feel uncomfortable speaking about their recent experiences, often out of fear of retaliation and damaged career prospects, Altman wrote on social media network X, formerly known as Twitter. The Microsoft-backed ChatGPT maker's high-profile boss urged the tech industry to treat members of those communities with empathy. A user on X asked Altman in a reply how he felt about the experiences of the Jewish community. Altman responded, "I am Jewish. I believe that anti-Semitism is a significant and growing problem in the world, and I see a lot of people in our industry sticking up for me, which I deeply appreciate. I see much less of that for Muslims." Right advocates note that anti-Semitism and Islamophobia have risen sharply in the US and elsewhere since October 7, when Palestinian Islamist group Hamas attacked Israel, killing 1,200 people, according to Israeli tallies. The Council on American-Islamic Relations said last month that in the 2 months after the war began, incidents motivated by Islamophobia and bias against Palestinians and Arabs rose by 172% in the United States compared to the same period last year. North Korea fired more than 200 artillery rounds on Friday near a disputed maritime border with South Korea, in another escalation of tension between the rivals and prompting the South to take corresponding action with live fire drills. The exchange led residents of 2 remote South Korean islands on the western maritime frontier to evacuate to bomb shelters at the instruction of the South military before it fired live rounds towards the disputed northern limit line border. The firing by North Korea caused no civilian or military damage in the south, South Korea's military said. This is an act of provocation that escalates tension and threatens peace on the Korean peninsula, South Korea's Defense Minister Shin Won-sing said as he supervised the firing drills. The North Korean artillery shells all landed on the northern side of the sea border. A South Korean military spokesperson, Lee Sung-jong, said in a news briefing, adding that the South Korean military has been monitoring the North's moves along with its shores with the cooperation of the U.S. military. South Korea's defense military said Marine brigades based on the Yeopyeong and Baekhyong Island fired at sea to the south of the NLL border, demonstrating overwhelming operational response. The South Korean drills involved mechanized artillery and tanks. Russia recently used short-range ballistic missiles sourced from North Korea to conduct multiple strikes against Ukraine, the White House said on Thursday, citing newly declassified intelligence. National Security spokesperson John Kirby told reporters the United States will raise the development with the United Nations Security Council. Kirby called North Korea's arms transfer to Russia a significant and concerning escalation and said the United States would impose additional sanctions against those facilitating the armed deals. Both Moscow and Pyongyang have denied conducting any armed deals but vowed that last year to deepen military relations. The use of the missiles drew condemnation from Britain as well as South Korea, which had reported in November that North Korea may have supplied SRBMs to Russia as part of a larger armed deal that also included anti-tank and anti-air missiles, artillery and mortar shells and refills. On December 30th, he said Russian forces launched at least one of these North Korean ballistic missiles into Ukraine, adding that it appeared to have landed in open field. Then, on Tuesday, Russia launched multiple North Korean missiles as part of a broader wave of heavy airstrikes, Kirby said. Washington was still assessing the impact of those missiles. Russia recently has launched some of its most intense strikes on Ukraine since the war began almost 2 years ago. Kyiv on Tuesday said that Russia has launched well over 300 attack drones and missiles of various kinds at cities across Ukraine since Friday. Brookfield Asset Management will buy American Tower Corp, last making Indian operating for $2.5 billion, it said Friday, becoming the country's largest operator of telecom towers amid booming demand for data and wider use of 5G services. The acquisition is the biggest of Brookfield's 3 telecom-related deals in the roughly 4 years the Canadian company has been present in India, the world's second-largest market by number of subscribers. ATC, on the other hand, will exit India after nearly 17 years. Its fortunes have floundered due to the struggles of top client Vodafone ID, and it recently wrote down the value of the business by $322 million. Brookfield, whose so-called anchor client is Reliance Industries, Jio, will be in a better position to manage the challenge that ATC had with high exposure to Vodafone ID, said Vivekanand S., an analyst at Ambit Capital Research. Jio and Vodafone Idea compete with Bharti Airtel in the Indian telecom market, where, according to an Ericsson report, the number of 5G subscribers will quadruple by 2027, accounting for 40% of the total base from 11% in 2023. Airtel is the anchor client of Indostar, the current market leader, with roughly 193,000 towers. Brookfield has around 157,000 towers and ATC operates some 77,000 towers. The president of Airtel said Vivekanand means Brookfield's deal to buy ATC will not threaten Indostar. Indostar became India's biggest telecom towers company in late 2020 when it emerged with Bharti Infratel, then a unit of Airtel, to form $14.6 billion giant. Brookfield's latest deal is the largest in space since then. Bharti Airtel currently own about 48% of Indus, and Vodafone Idea owns roughly 3%. Indus share rose 5.5% in afternoon trading on Friday, while Bharti Airtel's shares were little changed. That is, $1 is equals to 83.2150 Indian rupees. That is the size of top accolade global news updates. You can follow us on our social media platforms as displayed on your screen. Happy Friday.